So I just want to talk about a rejection email and call that I got. Imagine getting rejected for two jobs on the same day at once within a few hours. So I went for two job interviews on the same day in the same company, but just different roles in the company. And then I got rejected for both of them. And to say that I feel sad or disappointed is an understatement. You know, when you feel like this is the one. And so I previously made a video when I was preparing for the interview, and I know I was joking, and I said things like, oh, I haven't prepared, I don't feel prepared, stuff like that. And yes, like I didn't prepare much. And even though still to an extent I had prepared to the best of my ability, I'm not sad that I got rejected from both the jobs. I'm sad I got rejected from one specific one. So these are both healthcare jobs. The first one that I got rejected from, I honestly didn't think I was going to get it because the interview, you just know. I know I tried my best, but I forgot some things. I got anxious. I lost my train of thought. So I just knew that I didn't bring my best self. But then the one that hurts the most is the interview where you know that guys, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I was so confident. I just felt like this was the one. The second one. So the first one was 9:30 in the morning. I'm sorry if you hear any like background noise or anything like that. I don't know why it's so annoying. It's frustrating me. There's literally an arcade outside my window. And when I moved here at first, it wasn't here. And they played the music so loudly. Like, how can you have, I don't know, is it normal? How can you have an arcade in a residential area? I don't know. It's just annoying. It's so loud. It's like from I think 11 in the morning or 12 to like 9. Then on Sundays, see how I know their schedule because it just bothers me. It's adding to my how upset I am. So as I was saying, the first interview was by 9:35 in the morning and then the second interview was by 1:35. So the second interview I felt more prepared for it. Not more prepared, but I just felt more confident. And it wasn't not even about the preparation. It was about the vibe that the interviewers gave me. The ladies were nice. They were like, I made them laugh multiple times. I just brought my personality to it. And I know that I answered those questions confidently in the right way. I just felt really good about that interview. It's the best interview I have ever done in this country in my entire life. And I remember when I came out, I was so happy. I recorded a voice note to myself. I do weird stuff like that because I like documenting moments and remembering like my feelings, how I thought, because I would forget that. If I listened to that voice note back, I was so happy. I felt so confident. It was just like this adrenaline rush. And I just felt like I think my search has come to an end because there's no way I can't get this job. Like I was just sure everything I did was right. Another thing that added to my confidence was the lady was like, so another thing that added to my confidence after we were done with the interview, she said, let me confirm, is this your number? So in my head, I'm like, if you're trying to confirm this is my number, then you definitely want to call me. You want me? Because if I'm not even an option, you won't mind because you know that you can just send me a rejection email. So it just boosted my confidence. And I remember talking to my dad and I was so hyper. So after the first interview, when he called me, my voice was just calm. I told him it went well. It was okay. And then when I called him after the second one, he was like, now that is the voice I like hearing. I know this is good news. And I was just so hyper and excited. So for both of the interviews, they said they would get back to me at the ending of the day or in the morning. And I remember not sleeping. I haven't slept since yesterday. So I was thinking I don't want a situation whereby they call me and I don't pick and I'm sleeping and I try to stay awake. And I just slept for like 1 hour. And immediately I woke up, it was as if before I actually went to sleep, I got a mail from the first interview that I wasn't confident and they rejected. I felt sad about it because you always have hope. You're always like, maybe other people did worse than me and maybe I have a chance. You never know. And even as a Muslim, it's like you just pray and you believe that anything can happen. And I know I prayed about everything. So after I woke up from sleep, and then immediately it was as if she was waiting for me to wake up, and then I got a call. It showed no caller ID, and I just knew it was from the interview. And immediately I got the call, guys. It was a 1 hour nap, but I even dreamt of getting the job. I just felt like this was my job, like this was for me. And I picked the call. Very lovely lady, nice voice. She's like, "Oh, hi Zainab. It's this person." She was like, "So how do you think you did with the interview?" I was like, "I think I did really well, but I know there's always room for improvement, so I could do better." And she was like, "Yes, she definitely agrees with me. She thinks I did well, and I was one of her top five. But unfortunately, she won't be able to give me the job because some candidates scored a few more points than me. So that was the only thing. But she definitely felt like I did really well during the interview. She just gave me very positive feedback, and she said that she feels there's a place for me within the company. There are many roles and I should keep applying. Please, I should not be I don't know. It felt like she was trying to motivate me or something, but it just it made me feel really nice because imagine waking up from sleep, getting a call because you feel like normally when they call, most likely they're going to give you the job. If you don't qualify, they're just going to send you an email. So immediately I saw the call, everything told me that this was my job. I was going to get it. But then to just wake up from sleep with that excitement and enthusiasm, and she says, "You didn't get it." And I felt so sad. I feel like sad is an understatement, but I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. It's totally fine. Thank you for calling." And I really appreciate the fact that she called because even though it wasn't the good news that I wanted, I think her just saying what she said just made me feel better. I don't know whether, honestly, it didn't make me feel better at that moment. It's now that I'm thinking about it. So even when I'm thinking about the disappointment, when I hear her voice, I don't know, is it weird? Not her voice, but like when I remember what she said, then it just keeps me a bit motivated. It makes me feel like the adrenaline and excitement and energy I had and confidence I had that I was going to get the job. It felt like she validated my feelings because if she hadn't called, then I think I would keep doubting myself for a long time, and I would go with that doubt into other interviews because I would be thinking, maybe when I think an interview went well, it most likely didn't go well. So her calling me and telling me that yes, she actually also loved the interview. She loved my personality. She thinks I really did well. I really appreciate that. And I remember after we ended the call, I was still in this bed and I just felt tears. And I felt this pain in my chest. I'm tired of being, it's like crying after crying. Literally last week I was crying and then, oh God, the 20s are not for the faint hearted at this point. But I felt so hurt. And then I was thinking about how I was going to call my dad and then tell him because I gave him so much energy and confidence that I was going to get it. And the good thing is, like, he's not putting any pressure on me. My dad is literally like a motivational speaker. He's always like, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." So in my first video on my channel, the one I made about the interview prep, it was like a very calm, chill, funny video. And I remember saying that I'm not desperate to get a job. And I think I was lying to myself. I think I keep telling myself that I'm not desperate as a coping mechanism. You know, when, yes, you have parents that support you, but then you're tired of, not that you're tired, but you want to do things for yourself. You want to also support them. You feel like it's been so long. I'm in my early 20s and I feel like my dad has put in so much effort into my education, into like my career. And then I didn't even start working like part time or did any part time jobs till I came to the UK. So you just feel like now it's time, at least, let me, at least I've done my master's, I've done my bachelor's, at least I should start earning something for myself, even if it's not enough to like take care of them. I feel like I'm rushing so much in my head. I want to just be successful and do well so that I can like take care of my parents and just I want to just achieve so many great things and do amazing things in the world, make an impact. And life is like slow down, not now, little steps. I feel like there should be a course or something when you're in university or when you're doing your masters. I think maybe for people in the UK, they may be used to application rejections, the process. Maybe they've gotten used to it. But then if you haven't really been in the system of applying for jobs and then getting rejected, especially if you just finished your bachelor's or you just finished your master's, no one prepares you for the type of rejections you're going to get, the type of unfortunately, the type of interview rejections, you know? I think I lost my train of thought. But all I was trying to say is in that video I made on my channel, I was saying I wasn't desperate, but then I feel desperate. I feel like time is running out. I was saying that I wasn't desperate and it's just a coping mechanism. I know I am desperate. I definitely need a job and I feel like time is running out. I want to be able to take care of myself and be responsible for myself. I want to be able to send, even if it is like little money gifts to my siblings, my dad. Just genuinely, like, I can't wait for the day where I send my dad money. Like, my own, like, I really can't wait. It just makes me feel like I'm not making progress and it's just disappointing. This is the second job interview that I've cried for in my life. The first one, oh my God. Oh my God. Actually, the first one, I sobbed. I actually sobbed. I was even having hiccups. And the reason why I sobbed for that one, I can clearly remember, is I was going through a very difficult time in my life and I needed structure. And I kept applying and applying and applying. And then, the most painful one is when you think this is for you. So there are some things that when they're around, you just feel like Allah said, this is for you, because the way everything aligns, it's like that job description or that situation was perfectly made for you, and then it just doesn't work out and you can't comprehend it because your brain has just, everything feels like this is for you because everything aligns so perfectly, so you're like, it's not even logical, you're not even able to process a possibility where you don't get it. So that was what happened for me with that role. For that role, I was just so sure. Think about getting a role. First of all, it was not even related to healthcare. One, two, it was just like a retail role to show you how, like, I needed structure, I needed something at that moment. I felt like it was something that was going to keep me sane. I was going through a lot of, like, it was after submitting my dissertation, I was going through a lot of heartbreak, whatever, and emotional. So I just felt like it was the right time. It was give me structure. I would have money. And it was literally, first of all, so I'm someone who is really passionate about skincare. I love talking about skincare products. And it was with Boots. So I applied and then I got the interview. I even went for the physical interview. So it's like, first of all, the even thought of like even applying made me happy because I just saw myself in Boots and just being happy. And I knew I wouldn't be like talking about skincare products all the time. It was like a customer advisor role. It would be talking to customers and advising them about just things in the store. But just the thought of me being around those skincare products just made me feel happy. It was one of those jobs that I really, really prepared. I've gone for a lot of retail interviews. Most of them I don't practice. So I practiced so much for that interview and it was a group interview. And I felt like I brought my best to it. For the first time in my life, I kept calling the store. Till today, I haven't done anything like that, but I kept calling the store to ask them. For the first time in my life, I called a company to ask them when we're going to know whether we're selected. And I called them like two times. I kept checking my emails like I was a mad person, genuinely. And when that mail came, I felt so, I literally cried. I can clearly remember I was sobbing so much because I just felt like, another thing, guys, it was literally 10 minutes walk from my house, from where I lived. Imagine finding a job that was just 10 minutes walk, just 10 minutes walk from where you lived. And then it was something that you wanted, something that you loved, something you were looking forward to and not getting it. And you were going, oh God, like that pain. No, I can clearly remember. But yeah, that passed. I didn't get it. So that was the most painful one. And then this one. The reason why I'm finding this one painful is this is like my first few interviews in healthcare. I think for me, when I feel like I've done so well in an interview and I feel like this job is for me, I've fit all the criteria, I've put in my best and I don't get it, it really hurts. That's why this one too hurts. Because the first one, yeah, I know that I didn't bring my best to it. And yeah, I didn't like that I got rejected, but I was okay with it. But the second one, I don't know. It wasn't a nice feeling. I felt like my heart was hurting so much. Now I feel much better now that I'm talking about it. But then literally it felt like a stone had been kept on my chest, literally. So yeah, I have one more interview in a week, and it's literally a similar role, the same role, but in the same department to the first one that I got rejected for. But trying to detach from these interviews, not let them affect me so much. So if I get it, accept if I hear someone say you've gotten it or I read it, I'm not going to be excited. That is just a lesson that I have picked, no matter how well I think I did. I think that's just the lesson I have picked. But yeah, I was just hoping that like my search has come to an end. And I think the reason why this one also hurts more is like it's been a few months since I finally graduated, and you just feel like, okay, I did this masters, and I know everyone struggles with this. I just feel like I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I have experience, I've volunteered, stuff like that. I know that I can do it, and then you just keep getting rejections and you're just tired of sitting at home. You're feeling useless basically. The only thing that genuinely brings me joy right now is my YouTube channel. So just talking and making videos like this just makes me feel better. That's like what is keeping me sane and going. And like I said, no one is pressuring me. I am the one putting pressure on myself because I put myself to high standards. I know I can do something. I know I can be someone. It's not even about the job. I just feel like it's a stepping stone. I know I'm bigger than, inshallah, just working for a company. Not that it's a bad thing, but I just see myself doing amazing things, helping people, just being someone that brings value to the world. But I know that this job now is a stepping stone. It's something I need to tick off a list to get me where I want to be. It's the beginning, but it's like I want it and it's not coming. And I know everything is within Allah's time. I know when the time is right. And that's the good thing about being a Muslim. Even though you're sad, but you understand that it's not yet time. That's why I haven't gotten it. And with my dad, I think he senses I feel pressured. So there's something he once said. He's like, I shouldn't feel like, oh, just because I'm done with my master's, or I should be making money, or I should be contributing to the family. So he was just talking about how I shouldn't put pressure on myself. No one expects that of me. And I'm still building, I'm still growing. Time will come. But then, even when they say things like that, it doesn't matter, because with the whole economy of the world, you still want to contribute, you still want to help. Imagine sponsoring someone for 20 something years of their life, non-stop, bills after bills. I feel like even when our parents say that they enjoy supporting us, but like, I want you to enjoy your money. The money you're sending to me for pocket money to eat and do stuff and buy stuff, use it to take care of yourself. I think one day I have to make a video on like parents and sacrifices that they've made for their children, because for me, I see it with my parents. I don't take it for granted. I'm someone who doesn't talk about my mom, but like she's actually a stable figure in my life. But conversations like these, like career and stuff like that, they mostly surround my dad. When parents have made a lot of sacrifices, you just feel like you owe them, and then they're getting old, so you want to, I feel like I'm in a hurry. I want to make sure that I make it. I want to make sure that I'm successful early, when they're also like not so old, so that they can enjoy it. The most heartbreaking thing is for them to die. I would be, oh god, let's not even get into that. I think this video is getting too long. I literally honestly thought this was going to be like a 10 minutes video, but then I realized that I talk a lot. Because why have I been talking for almost 20 something minutes? But yeah, thank you. If you've reached the ending of the video, thank you so much for listening to this whole rant ramble with me. And if you relate to anything I've said, please let me know. Let me know how you handle interview rejections. And yeah, please also like, share, and subscribe. That whole YouTube lingo. But yeah, thank you. I'll put up the first video somewhere if you didn't see it. But yeah, I'm just loving this whole thing I'm doing with YouTube. Like, I'm just loving these new videos I'm making. They're making me happy. They're keeping me busy, stopping me from going crazy. So I'm glad I have this little space of mine on the internet to just talk about things. But yeah, bye.